This is Jessica Ellis, and we are going to go over the spiral recipe. It is the final recipe of Teaching Kids Programming Section 1. We're going to start by opening up Spiral. The process for completing the spiral recipe is pretty much the same as a simple square recipe, in that you want to start with number 1, which is on line 7, and translate that line of English into code. So English is show the tortoise. We're going to go ahead and run that, and there's the tortoise. Remember to always delete with Control D a line of English once it has been properly translated. Number 2, line 17, is turn the tortoise 1/3 of 360 degrees to the right. Please remember that we always let the computer do the math for us. And so rather than doing the math of which 1/3 of 360 degrees, just go ahead and let the computer do that. Run that. There you go. Number 3 is do the following 75 times. Each time we are repeating an action, that would be a for loop. Control space to bring it up. And you want to make sure you move your bracket down. The keyboard shortcut for that is Alt arrow down, and we're going to take that right below line 21. And then we're going to change the stop to 75. We'll run that. And it would do it 75 times, but we're not going to wait for that. Go ahead and delete the English. Remember that you have 2 lines this time because you translated this line with line 15, but you also translated the repeat with this bracket right here. Number 4 is make the tortoise go as fast as possible. Remember that this is a set speed rather than a get speed because you are making a change. And if you look over at the documentation, it still says that 10 is the fastest. End with a semicolon and run it. That was really fast. Number 5, move the tortoise 5 times the current line number you are drawing. Alright, so the translation of that is once again to start with tortoise and move. Now 5 times the current line number. We know how to do 5 times. And if you remember from the variations, the letter I will give you the same number of pixels as the number line that the tortoise has drawn. So when the tortoise is drawing its first line, it will be 1 pixel, and when it is drawing its second line, it'll be its second pixel. So we do 5 times I, that will accomplish what we're trying to do, and with a semicolon, and let's run it. We have a spiral. Number 6, change the color of the line the tortoise draws to the next color on the color wheel. The tortoise is also the subject that begins this line of code, and we're changing the color of the line, so that is set pen color. And then we have another subject, which is color wheel. So we're going to look for color wheel, and we see it right there. And when we press a dot, we see something that says get next color, which that matches the English we're looking for, so we're going to pick that and add a semicolon to the end. And we see no red, so we're going to go ahead and run that. Okay, that didn't get what we wanted, and you can see we have an exception over here. The exception says this wheel is empty. You cannot get something from the wheel before you add anything to it. So because we have a color wheel, we don't have any color. We're going to leave this line of English undeleted until we fully translate it and actually see the next color on the color wheel. We'll move up to number 7, and it says add purple to the color wheel. So we'll pull up the color wheel, and we see our choice is add color. And then if you look over to your right, you'll see the documentation telling you how to add color to the color wheel, which should look very familiar. But anytime you're doing something for the first time, it's always a good idea to just copy the example that you see and see if that runs before you make changes. So we'll just go ahead and copy that documentation, see that it does work. And now that we know how to get red, I don't think it's going to be that difficult to get purple. So we're going to try pulling up some purples. There they are. And there it is. Let's see how that works. Perfect. Purple spiral. So now we can delete the English that says add purple to the color wheel because we've done that. And we can also delete number 6, which is line 18, that says change the color of the line the tortoise draws to the next color on the color wheel because we have color. Number 8, you go ahead and just copy that with Control C, paste it with Control V. Violet is also in the purple family. So my guess is if we control space, we're going to find violet. There it is. So now we have 2 different shades of purple. And we'll delete that line of English and then add blue violet to the color wheel. And of course we could have just copied and pasted this again, which would have been the best choice. We wanted to go through the steps one more time. There we have our spiral with our 3 shades of purple. And our recipe is completely translated. And you are ready for Teaching Kids Programming Section 2.